And there it's partly because wealthy individuals would fund the establishment of these schools, but then it was also an important part of Islam, and is an important part of Islam. They have these things called madrasas, which means literally study place or school. And those originally were sort of part of mosques, and then they became separate institutions. And yeah, wealthy people would often pay for these because they saw it as important. Again, religion was important in Europe. So this is King's Canterbury School, which is one of the oldest schools in the United Kingdom, and it's attached to Canterbury Cathedral. And again, religion was important here. We'll talk more about this in later lectures. But the schools were attached to these monasteries and the cathedrals. Again, the monasteries are a little bit like what you had in ancient Sumer, where essentially priests would be, or not priests, but people in religious orders would be tasked with learning, doing philosophy and other disciplines, theology, sort of asking questions like, what is the meaning of life? How do we be good people? Those kind of things. So monasteries were often dedicated to learning. And they also saw it as part of their duty to advance learning. And part of that was bringing up the next generation of scholars. So they were not sort of public, and generally it was still elite who would go to them. However, some of these cathedral schools were open to students of sort of common people, especially if those children were sort of lucky enough to be recognized as having some sort of talent. Then we skip quite a long way ahead to Prussia, and this is Frederick the Great, or Frederick II he was, where he says, look, we need to start having now compulsory education for all children. And that's partly just his personal belief. This is after the period that we call the Enlightenment. And he just believed that humans would be better people, morally, politically, economically, when we have more learning and we know more about the world. And so in 1819, you see the first introduction of state-funded, state-administered elementary schools. So not really secondary schools yet, but these are called the Volksschulen, or the people's schools. And so although Frederick II calls for this a lot earlier, they don't really come into being, and they're not really funded till the early-ish 19th century. And why? Well, I've already said that he thought learning was important for advancing and making everyone's lives better, but he also thought that it promoted national unity, which was an important topic in this era, and cohesion, or preventing divisions.